You may remember just very recently, we covered one of the reform councillors from Northumberland who had been expelled because they'd become very upset and disillusioned with their party leader up in Northumberland, and so tried to do a vote of no confidence in the leader. Now, he just survived by one vote. By one vote. Apparently, it was 10-11. So just by one vote, he narrowly managed to survive. But the people who were responsible for organizing this, and of course, sending a letter to Reform HQ, well, now they've both been expelled from the party, and they are not keeping quiet about it. They are spilling the tea, pulling up the rug, showing everyone just what is going on behind the scenes up in Northumberland. And bear in mind, this grouping could have potentially been in charge of Northumberland if another party had decided to go, vote them in, as we've seen happen in other couple of councils where they aren't in a majority but they're in a minority. They could have been ruling Northumberland. Northumberland right now, if they were in charge, would be, quite frankly, falling to pieces. Instead, what we are seeing in real time is this whole civil war, these internal civil wars and these disagreements breaking out into the open. And if you want to know what probably the future of some of these other reform councils at the moment, because we know that they are all arguing and bickering really, really hard behind the scenes, this is what eventually could end up being like. And I think the reason why we haven't seen it more break open into the open at the moment is because some of those places, they are in charge. So they are trying to desperately, I think, keep a lid on it. But as we've seen very recently from Reform HQ, they hate these guys. They're trying to keep, smooth over the bumps and keep it all under wraps and, everyone singing Kumbaya, but they hate them. And you have to ask, how long before this happens at another council where they might be in charge? Because quite frankly, what is going on in Northumberland is insane right now. Absolutely insane. But it's funny to watch them implode in real time. So we're going to have another follow-up over what's been going on here. Because now you've had one of the other councillors that got kicked out has turned around and said that reform in general are not ready for government. And he lays into them very, very clearly. So, as always, thank you very much to all the people who do help and support the channel. Like I say, please do remember to keep on, if you want to keep up with this reform nonsense that's going on, please do remember to click the like and share button. And of course, hit the subscribe button down below as well. Do ring the bell as well so you get notifications of when we go live and stuff like that, or when we drop a new video. It is Wednesday as well, so there is a new video for all the Patreon members and of course all the YouTube members. So if you want to not only see that video but all the other videos that we've done, like I say, links down below, Patreon page, link up the top, the QR code will also take you to the Patreon page as well. There's the buy me coffee link where you can buy me coffee. There's the YouTube thank you button where again you can use that as well. And like I say, the YouTube membership also down below as well. So thank you very much to all those people who do help and support the channel. Don't forget to leave a comment down below about all this, because this is, I think, only going to get worse. And then the question really becomes, how will this spread? Will this spread to other reform chapters? I hope it does, because this is explosive, quite frankly, and it is initiating quite a collapse in that region, or at least in Northumberland region for reform. So let's get on then into this. So, ex-now Reform councillor in Berwick warns the party is not ready for government amid now an expulsion row. So, Berwick Ward North member Nicole Brooke, who you may remember we talked about last time during her piece, was kicked out of the party after challenging the leadership of the Northumberland branch. The party claims that Brooke, who runs a HR and headhunting firm in London quote, misused the signatures of her colleagues as she sought now to facilitate a vote of no confidence in the party's local leadership. Councillor Brooke denies this and has now criticised the party for a lack of professionalism. And I also have to wonder if this will get legal. Because if this does get legal, this could also get very interesting as well. Speaking, of course, to the local democracy reporting service, Councillor Brooke said, we were promised that it was going to be professionalized, but we have had no training, nothing from head office. We've just been left. Well, that doesn't surprise me at all. If that is the state of what they are in, then we can only expect the exact same thing has probably happened to the rest of these reform councils as well. She continues to say, reform is just not ready. They have grown far too fast. There is no infrastructure. There is no senior management. They are going to get it. They're going to get in, and then they are going to mess it up for now 5 years, and then Labour and the Tories are going to get back in. There is nothing in there. There is no depth. It is run like the Mafia. Well, here's the thing. It's not just this lack of professionalism. It's the whole idea of what they want to do. It's just that you are probably going to see, and potentially not even for 5 years, because if it is this bad, if they quote do get in, as she says, it is going to be bad. They will end up infighting. Because remember, Nigel Farage himself cannot control 4 MPs. Well, 5 MPs. How on earth is he going to try and manage a party potentially in Parliament that has 100 plus MPs? He's not. Inevitably, they are going to mess up, and they are going to mess up very, very bad and very, very quickly. I don't think a reform government would last 5 years at that point. I think there would be a vote of no confidence in the government, quite frankly, because we've seen the type of stuff and policies that they want to do and the stuff they want to talk about and what they would implement. And if they did some of that stuff, you are talking like Liz Truss levels of disaster. But anyway, back to this. Anyway, she continued to say, I'm completely gutted, but I feel like I've been liberated. I'm not quitting. I don't have to quit, and I don't want to quit. Well, who are you going to join then on that one? That will be interesting. I think I've got the town, of course, with me, and I do feel like I've done nothing wrong. The worst thing I've ever done is join reform. I thought I was doing a good thing. It is my civic duty, and I thought that we could make a reform balanced and sensible and not extreme, but it is extreme. Gee, shock horror, reform extreme? Well, yeah, that's what they are. And bear in mind, this week, there have been 4 reform councillors go. There have been 2 gone down in Cornwall, right? You've had 1 recently resign in Kent, and you've also had, what's the 4th one now? It might have been 3. I can't remember. I think there was a 4th one, but I can't remember who it was now. But no, I think there are definitely 3. No, actually, no. If you included this, gosh, it might be 2 more. Might be 4 or 5 at this point. Anyway, I can't remember. Honestly, it's difficult to keep track. It really is. But back to this. So, last week, Reform UK said that Councillor Brooke was expelled now for knowingly disregarding the party rules and for misusing people's signatures. A disciplinary committee has felt that now this has posed a serious risk that will damage the party's local credibility. Councillor Brooke has now disputed this statement, which is where we didn't get up to last time, so consider this an update on this. She said that Reform UK are making accusations about misusing people's signatures. This is untrue. There was nothing underhand about my actions, nor did I represent anyone's views without their permission or authorization. It is important to recognize that the letter was not a vote of confidence. It was merely asking for the processes and guidance on how we as a collective group should proceed. You remember last time? Yeah, they were asking for a vote of no confidence, even though it wasn't a vote of no confidence, but it totally wasn't a vote of no confidence. Anyway, she continues. The issue of course, confidence in the leader would have been, of course, decided at that subsequent meeting. So it was a vote of no confidence that they were seeking, but it was totally not, guys. Anyway, he continues, not in that letter, of course, which was purely a request for advice from the director of local government at Reform HQ. We asked him how best then to proceed and for his support. I cannot comment on which councillors, of course, changed their minds or why they changed their minds, but this was now ultimately irrelevant because supporting the letter did not necessarily imply a position relative now to the potential no confidence issue. It is important to add that nobody from Reform UK has ever contacted me in relation to this matter actually seeking clarification. The local democracy reporting service has now put these latest comments made by Councillor Brooke to Reform UK. The party decided to make a, quote, no new comment and instead reiterated back to the statement they had issued just last week. A Reform UK spokesperson had previously said that Councillor Brooke was expelled from Reform UK for knowingly disregarding the rules and misusing people's signatures, which the party's disciplinary committee posed a risk to serious damage to the party's local credibility. Yeah. Meanwhile, this continues to become very, very explosive. Very, very explosive indeed. I think there's even more. I think if we keep an eye on this, there's going to be more stuff come out on this. This is only going to rumble on. And once again, this should be brought up to people running Reform. This should be brought to Nigel Farage. What do you think about this going on in Northumberland? The fact that your party's literally falling to pieces, the fact that you've had a councillor come out and say, you know, your party is run like some mafia organization. Just, you know, questions journalists should be asking. And I have to wonder, at what point does this minor local issue suddenly become a big national news story? Certainly will be interesting to see if this does pick up even more steam. Will this potentially get legal? Who knows? I think this Councillor Brooke potentially has, I think, a case because they are making allegations that she has, you know, misused people's signatures. She could come back and say, no, I've not done that at all. You know, she could come back and say, well, look, here's me asking for all these, you know, emails, asking for people's signatures, messages, etc. You know, you could literally go through all those people and say, did I ask you to use your signature? Anyone who didn't, like, you know, and stuff like that. I think she would have a very good case. I think she would have a very, very good case against Reform on that allegation. I think for sure. But as always, let me know what you think about all this. Are you from Northumberland? Do you know more about what is going on with these Reform people? Because very often we find out on this that a lot of local people have a lot more local, you know, knowledge and insight than what is also going on. So if you are from Northumberland, if you are under this counselling, you know a bit more about what's going on or something like that, or you've seen something else being written, please do let me know. Please point me in direction to try and find it. I will be very interested to see how this fallout continues to go on in Northumberland. But make no mistake, yeah, it's falling apart in real time. Very, very much so. So, as always, thank you very much for watching. Do remember to click on the like and share button on your way out. Don't forget to ring the bell. And of course, as always, we'll see you all next time.